If you want to be a part of the conversation before it happens here on YouTube, click that link in the description to join the free Courtside Financial Discord. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Weekend Recap on the Courtside Financial Podcast, a segment where we bring you a compilation of everything that went down throughout the week from a stories perspective. Before we get into this video, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and click the notification bell icon so you don't miss out on any content that's coming in the future. With that immediate injection of cash, the risk of going bankrupt and the conversation of bankruptcy disappears completely. So to answer the question from last week's video, can NIO escape the bankruptcy conversation, the last video I did, the answer is yes. Our first stop takes us into the heart of NIO, where tectonic plates seem to be shifting. Picture this: William Lee, NIO's iconic founder, chairman, and CEO, is losing his grip on the company as the Abu Dhabi fund CYVN makes another investment. They acquired a whopping 20.1% stake with a hefty $3.3 billion investment to the company. So does this mean that NIO is bidding farewell to its Chinese roots? Well, the intricate A and B shareholding structure might be William Lee's ace in the hole, allowing him to maintain control of the company through voting rights. It's a financial chess match that could redefine NIO's future. But hold on, dear listeners, we're just getting started here. Next destination is NIO's financial playground, where Lee Bin has triumphed once again. A colossal $2.2 billion injection from the Abu Dhabi fund catapults NIO's total financing to 115 billion yuan. But as they say, every victory comes at a cost. Like we mentioned earlier, Lee Bin's stake takes a hit, and the super voting rights do remain intact, which ensures that he calls the shots in the boardroom. The Middle East funds are betting big, eyeing not just returns but strategic collaboration around NIO. NIO's expansion plans into the Middle East hint at a future filled with not just opportunity but also challenges. Now let's connect the dots. Threads of NIO's ownership saga and NIO's financial prowess weave a narrative of resilience, adaptability, and strategic foresight. Lee Bin, the puppet master, orchestrates moves that not only but also navigate the intricate dance of shareholding dynamics. As Middle East petrodollars flow into Chinese assets, the global landscape of automotive investments is shifting. So what does this mean for NIO's identity? Is it on the brink of becoming a Middle East car brand? Not so fast. Like we said, the A and B shareholding structure is Lee Bin's secret weapon, and it ensures that he remains the steward of NIO's destiny and that this company keeps its Chinese identity. It's a strategic move that balances financial infusion with maintaining control. The Middle East might be acquiring shares, but Lee retains the power to steer NIO's course. Looking ahead, NIO stands at a crossroad. With that immediate injection of cash, the risk of going bankrupt and the conversation of bankruptcy disappears completely. So to answer the question from last week's video, can NIO escape the bankruptcy conversation, the last video I did, the answer is yes, and they've done it. But, and there's always a but, what lies ahead for NIO as far as cost reduction, revenue generation, and increasing margins. Lee Bin's sharp decision comes into a focus, especially with the recent 10% layoff and the spin-off of some money-losing businesses. The road ahead involves unveiling the ET9 flagship model, exploring new brands, and navigating the intricate power swap landscape. As the price war for new energy vehicles intensifies in 2024, NIO must weather the storm, keeping an eye on the new coming competition like Xiaomi, Huawei, and of course the mighty Tesla. Lee Bin's role as a visionary leader becomes even more crucial. Shifting gears back to NIO, with over 20 billion yuan raised in just 6 months, Lee Bin secures not only funds but also room for expansion. However, the cautionary tale is clear. Avoiding irrational expansion is key. NIO's focus on back-end business and technology remains unwavering. Despite layoffs and team restructuring, Lee Bin emphasizes the importance of investment in key areas like autonomous driving and chips. The long-term vision includes streamlined product planning and advancements in sub-brands and platform technology. Navigating a fine line between financial prowess and internal strength is tricky. As NIO's frontline people in sales feel the pressure, maintaining a balance between expansion and efficiency is paramount. So all in all, what have we learned today? NIO, the giant in the automotive realm, is navigating a complex financial landscape. Ownership dynamics and financial prowess are chess pieces in this global game of strategy. As Li Bin navigates NIO's destiny and NIO charts its financial course, the future promises challenges and triumphs. The automotive arena is evolving, and these financial maneuvers will undoubtedly set the scene for years to come. So as you can see, the Anhui province, with these astute businessmen, now stands a chance of becoming the epicenter of the world's automotive industry. This new generation of businessmen in China are not just about driving cars. They're steering the nation's automotive identity for the future. Picture this, Anhui, a province pulsating with automotive prowess. 16 listed companies, 9 OEMs in the capital alone, and the birthplace of the likes of NIO, Volkswagen New Energy, and Chery Automobile. Anhui's not just on the map, it's drawing the map of China's automotive future. But who are the architects of this automotive symphony? Well, let me introduce you to the Fantastic Four. Wang Chunfu, Yin Tongyu, Ye Chendong, and ours truly, yours truly, Li Bin. These Anhui powerhouses are not just shaping the market domestically, they're taking it globally. First up, we have the story of BYD and its founder, Wang Chunfu. Born into humble beginnings, Wang's journey from a peasant family in Wuhu to creating a battery giant is nothing short of a blockbuster movie script. In just 20 years, BYD turned an out-of-nowhere company into one of the largest car companies in the world, the 10th to be exact. Now that's what we call a rags to riches tale. And then there's a low-key champion, Yin Tongyu, who's currently steering Chery to new heights. From crafting cars to attacking autonomous engines, Yin's journey is a testament to the power of determination. Chery, often a silent warrior amongst other car companies, is now getting attention globally, leading the export game for 2 decades. Now let's talk about the man who's reshaping the business from behind the scenes, Yu Chengdong. Born in Hukui County, Anhui, Yu's journey from R&D at Huawei to reshaping the automotive industry is nothing short of spectacular. His big mouth style and bold moves are not just for show, they're a part of a grand plan for Huawei to be the strongest behind the scenes player in the automotive industry. But obviously not every story is a fairy tale. We now turn our attention to William Li, or Li Bin, the CEO, chairman, and founder of NIO. He's had quite the roller coaster ride. A left-behind child from Anhui defied the odds to become the founder of BitAuto, which went public in the United States. And now he ventures into electric cars with NIO. Yet losses have continued to pile up, and he's even been called the worst person. It was Hefe who extended a lifeline to Li Bin to keep NIO alive in 2019 or 2020, somewhere around that time frame, I forget, but it's covered on the channel. Now NIO's fortunes are on the rebound, proving that resilience can turn a tide. So as you can see, the Anhui province, with these astute businessmen, now stands a chance of becoming the epicenter of the world's automotive industry. This new generation of businessmen in China are not just about driving cars. They're steering the nation's automotive identity for the future. As the saying goes, there may not be a tomorrow when there's price reductions, but there may not be a tomorrow if there are no price reductions. In other words, you can't be the only company that is not reducing prices while other companies are reducing prices, especially if you're an early stage company like NIO. You can't afford to not be making any sales. That is going to drive your business to the ground. Today's episode takes us back to this week's headline around NIO, the EV juggernaut based out of China. And that is the story of the Middle East pumping $3.3 billion into NIO. Now you might wonder, why is the oil-rich capital of the United Arab Emirates so interested in NIO? Well, it turns out that NIO, despite being under financial pressure, desperately needed to keep the wheels turning on this machine. Enter Abu Dhabi Capital's knight in shining armor. On December 18th, as we've discussed in a couple of videos before, CYVN came to a strategic offer with NIO for a cash infusion. As I mentioned before, this isn't CYVN's first dance with NIO. They've actually pumped $1.1 billion in July as well. So let's do the math. So this week they invested $2.2 billion into NIO. Earlier in the year they invested $1.1 billion into NIO. That's a whopping $3.3 billion just in the second half of this year alone. That's enough to make any financial analyst do a double take. But wait, there's more. The intricate web of NIO ownership is getting a makeover. CYVN is now the largest stakeholder in NIO, holding a 20.1% stake of the company. So why is this news? Because Lee Bin, who was previously the largest stakeholder in NIO and he's their CEO, is now no longer the largest stakeholder. So why would he do that, knowing the astute businessman that he is? Well, it's a chess move in a game of high stakes financing. So let's shift gears to the nitty gritty of NIO's financial landscape. The first 3 quarters of the year, NIO lost over 15.5 billion yuan. Yet the company continues to rev up its ambitious plans, adding 1,000 battery swapping stations, which are expensive this year alone. It's not just a move about expanding infrastructure, it's also navigating the landscape of the treacherous price wars going on right now. NIO, and of course their founder, is emphasizing the importance of rechargeable, swappable, and upgradable batteries. This is obviously the company's moat. This is what they built their foundation off of. So they need to make it successful in order to survive. It may be too late to pivot. It's a clever strategy, but building, maintaining, and executing on this is very costly. A single power station costs NIO 4 to 5 million yuan. With plans to add 1,000 in 2023, that's obviously a hefty investment. And there's still more to the story. NIO might still be on the verge of obtaining independent manufacturing. This is going to be an acquisition worth nearly 5 billion yuan. While some of these moves might be crucial for NIO's development, obviously they're going to require capital, and that's why a capital injection from the Middle East was definitely necessary. Now let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. NIO's initial investment from Abu Dhabi aligns with a broader trend of overseas capital flowing to Chinese companies. It's a dance of dollars, yuan, and dirham. But why is this investment so pivotal for NIO? Well, it allows them to weather the current financial storm that they found themselves in. They're able to strategically allocate resources and perhaps even compete pretty fiercely. And when I say compete pretty fiercely, that's in context of the price war going on. As the saying goes, there may not be a tomorrow when there's price reductions, but there may not be a tomorrow if there are no price reductions. In other words, you can't be the only company that is not reducing prices while other companies are reducing prices, especially if you're an early stage company like NIO. You can't afford to not be making any sales. That is going to drive your business to the ground. And speaking of price wars, NIO is now wading into the battle. NIO has dropped the price of their cars by 30,000 yuan to be more competitive with their competitors like Li Auto and Xpeng, amongst many others. It's a bold move signaling their willingness to navigate this increasingly competitive and fierce market. In an industry where perception definitely matters, NIO's not only tweaking prices externally, but they're also trying to boost internal incentives, giving more reason to consume their product. But they're also trying to boost internal incentives, increasing wages for staff, and unleashing creative strategies to stay ahead of the game. It's a chessboard of internal strategies, pricing strategies, and a dash of competition-induced adrenaline. Analysts are questioning whether all these moves are enough to sway the market that's becoming more discerning. The EV market in China is entering a brutal phase. The road to becoming a large-scale, mature brand might just require more financial firepower. Our first spark of innovation comes from NIO's NIO Day 2023 event, where they've unveiled their 4th generation battery swapping station, new superchargers, and more ambitious plans for 2024. So NIO upgraded their battery swapping stations, boasting 23 battery bays, reducing service time by 22%. And increasing the daily capacity to a whopping 480 swaps per station. And the tech under the hood, NVIDIA Orin X chips, 6 ultra wide angle LiDARs, and a computing power of 1,016 TOPS. These stations aren't just powerhouses, they're environmentally friendly as well, with a 60 square meter photovoltaic system on top, saving nearly 18,000 kilowatt hours per year. The installation starts in April 2024, and NIO plans on adding 1,000 of these guys next year. That'll bring the total to 33,010. Now, this is definitely exciting news. That's a charge in the right direction. I already know some people are going to be saying that these stations have to be even more costly than their other stations and their V3 stations, and their V3 stations are already costly, which are, I believe, 4 to 5 million yuan per station. But anyways, NIO's all about infrastructure. They're kind of building the moat through that, and so they have to keep on innovating in regards to battery swap, which is what they've built their business off of. But anyways, there's more. NIO's not just stopping with the battery swapping stations. They've also unveiled their 4th generation supercharger, which has a peak power of 640 kilowatts. It's also the lightest in the industry at only 2.4 kilograms. It has a liquid cooled charging gun cable and intelligent power distribution to maximize efficiency. These superchargers will also hit the street in April 2024, and NIO plans to add a whopping 20,000 of these guys next year, bringing the total to over 41,000. Now let's shift gears to our next topic. NIO is not only just figuring out ways to better charge your vehicles or replenish them, they're also ramping up in their autonomous driving efforts. They've announced their in-house self-developed autonomous driving chip, the Shenji NX9031, a chip built on a 50 nanometer process with over 50 billion transistors, supporting 32 core CPUs. CEO William Li compared its power to the NVIDIA Orin X chips. And where will this powerhouse of technology debut? In the ET9 executive flagship sedan. It's available now with deliveries starting in Q1 2025, so almost a year from now. NIO's chip team has clearly been working hard here, with hints dropping earlier this week and reports last year about NIO's ventures into autonomous driving and their own LiDAR chip. This isn't the first rodeo. At the End 2023 Innovation Day, they unveiled their in-house chip, a LiDAR master chip. NIO's clearly steering its way into the future, and it's not just on the roads, but it's in the brains of their vehicles. That's going to be it for this episode of Week in Recap for the Courtside Financial Podcast. If you found any of this information valuable, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and definitely leave a comment down below. Genuinely interested in hearing what you guys think about these this new style of videos that we're doing. Anyways, that's going to be it. I'll catch you guys next time.